Hello everyone, welcome to our How to Function video. We appreciate the time you and your chapters are taking to understand exactly how to function at Purdue. So let's get started.
The first step in setting up a function is to register online. The form can be found on BoilerLink under Forms. When you log in, search up function and you will see two options pop up. Make sure you choose the form that correlates with your council, whether it is Interfraternity Council, IFC, or Panhellenic Association, PHA. This form is due by 5 p.m. on the Sunday before your event.
Make sure that all co-hosting or attending chapters fill out the form. Events registered by more than 2 fraternities are prohibited and will not be approved. Once you and all your attending chapters have filled out the form, the IFC and Panhellenic risk managers will make sure everything in the form is compliant with the university's rules. If your function registration form gets approved, then you may continue with the planning phase of your function.
Before we move on to the action phases of a function, it's important to understand what Safety and Risk Management Authority, or SARMA, is and how they have a role among fraternity and sorority life on campus.
SARMA is an observational organization and is a result of the governing councils. SARMA places emphasis on compliance to university and FSCL policies. It purely observes functions and reports back to IFC.
You may be wondering, how does SARMA help? Well, SARMA allows observers to focus purely on pressing safety issues, such as presence of hard alcohol or drugs, fire safety, and overall guest and event safety.
SARMA observers are trained to be detailed, which means their observations will be thorough. So what does SARMA look for?
The best way to explain that is to explain what SARMA does not want to see. There are 2 different types of function violations: first degree and second degree. Here is the full list of first degree violations.
It is important to note, failure to comply with any of these rules on the list will cause the function to be shut down immediately and will result in judicial action through your respective councils.
Here's the list of second degree violations. Failure to comply with these rules could result in the shutdown of a function. These will be treated on a case-by-case basis.
As you're all also probably aware, SARMA observers are required to do a minimum of 2 observations per function. During both observations, all second-degree violations will be logged.
Second-degree violations will become first-degree violations if they are not addressed immediately.
SARMA observers will contact any member of the IFC Executive Board. The sober executive for the night will also be notified within 5 minutes of the IFC being notified. It is important to note that any given member of the IFC Executive Board has the power to shut down a function.
The chapter will later be informed of the violations which have occurred, and those violations are sent to the Judicial Board.
Now that you all understand how SARMA observers work, let's get back to the action phases of hosting or attending a function.
Developing your guest list correctly is an essential part of hosting a function. Keep in mind, when your chapter is creating the function guest list, the name and birthday of each invited guest must be provided before it can be approved.
There is an official guest ratio required by the Joint Social Policy. There's a function requirement that the function attendance not exceed a 3-to-1 ratio of guests. It is also required that you provide the chapter or organization affiliation of the invited guest. If your guest is not in a fraternity or sorority, make sure to put no affiliation or something else that makes it obvious that they are not a member of a Greek organization.
These requirements ensure that people attending the function are at least 18 years old and are current Purdue students.
Finally, after you have a digital copy of your final draft of your guest list, it is required that you email the list to the Vice President of Risk Management for both IFC and Panhellenic, at least 1 hour prior to the starting time of your function.
Both of the emails can be found on the Purdue FSCL website.
Besides guest lists, we should also cover BYOB, which stands for Bring Your Own Beverage. For all functions, it is essential to follow BYOB.
The amount of alcohol brought by those of legal drinking age should not exceed one of the following: 6 12-ounce beers, 4 12-ounce wine coolers, 2 24-ounce cans of malt liquor, or any equivalent amount. There should not be any hard alcohol present.
Hosts are required to have an abundant quantity of sober snacks. Examples of these might be popcorn, crackers, fruit snacks, etc.
On top of sober snacks, the hosting chapter is also required to have abundant quantities of water available for guests as well.
In addition to this, host houses should provide wristbands that will identify which attendees are of legal drinking age and which are not. The purpose of this is to track which guests are drinking while obeying the Joint Social Policy.
The Joint Social Policy permits only one entrance for functions. It is at this entrance that all guests will be ID'd and given the appropriate wristband. When checking in, attendees will show their state or government-issued ID to allow the individuals running check-ins to confirm date of birth so that they can be given their assigned wristband.
At the check-in counter, the guests will also be required to confirm their name and chapter affiliation if they are in a Greek organization. Sobers running the check-in area need to keep track of the guests that enter, the time they arrive, and document whether or not they are of legal drinking age. Guests will also be checked out at the time they choose to leave the function.
Once the attendees enter the function, they will get their drinks from the bar. The number of bartenders must be equal to or greater than the number of co-sponsoring chapters. All bartenders must also be 21 or older.
Bartenders are required. This is to ensure that there are no communal sources of alcohol, such as punch bowls. As you all are aware, alcoholic beverages are not allowed to be purchased with chapter funds, as this does not follow BYOB regulations. It is important to note that with the COVID-19 pandemic still impacting our daily lives, that all of the rules we just stated will be trumped by any Purdue University policies, so make sure that you and your chapter are up to date with everything regarding Protect Purdue.
Members and guests are only allowed in the designated function area, which does not include private living quarters. While you must maintain access to emergency exits and cannot physically block off or lock doors or hallway exits, sober monitors should be placed as appropriate to ensure members and guests are not leaving the function area unless there is an emergency.
Organizations are expected to abide by all fire codes, including maximum capacity, maintaining signage, access to exits, fire extinguishers, and fire suppression systems. Any decorations or alterations to the facility must be approved by the fire department prior to the event. It is the responsibility of each organization to contact the fire department to determine maximum capacity and seek approval for any decorations or alterations to the facility.
If someone is unresponsive, experiencing alcohol poisoning, is injured, or needs medical assistance, make the call to 911 immediately. The Indiana Lifeline Law and Purdue Medical Amnesty Policy provides exemptions from certain personal and organizational conduct violations if students make the call promptly.
Any outdoor spaces should be clearly marked with permanent or temporary fencing. These areas must be approved by the fire department to ensure compliance with all fire codes.
And if a guest becomes unruly, unwelcome, or refuses to leave, contact law enforcement so they can help remove the unwanted guest.
Now that you all have been informed of the policies in place, let's take a look at the different aspects of a function and what it might look like.
Oh man, they're playing my music, bro. Let's go!
All right, there you go. Here's your under 21 red wristband. I need to put this on you.
Come on, Benji, can't you give me a green wristband? I'm like 21 in 2 weeks.
But the problem is, you're not 21 now. Your wrist.
Hurry up, man up! But my friends, they all have green wristbands. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know, have water, enjoy the music.
Come on, Benji, please, can't you make an exception?
Okay, I'll tell you what, give me your wrist. I can give you a green wristband at next month's function, because then you'll be 21.
So lame. Whatever.
Hey, your name?
Marcus Collins.
What's your affiliation?
Alpha, Beta, Zeta.
There you are. I need to see your ID so I can verify your date of birth.
Sure.
Cool. I see you have 6 natty lights at the bar. Here is your green 21 and over wristband. While you're here, keep this on at all times. And just show this to the bartender.
Hey, Benji, is that you? It's me, Zach Miller from Philosophy.
Oh, hey. Are you an ABZ too?
Nah, man. Marcus is a high school buddy of mine.
I'm not seeing you on the list.
Well, I'm his +1.
Yeah, this function doesn't work that way.
Is cool. I got my ID right here. I'm 21.
Sorry, dude, you have to be on the list.
But you know me. I'm a Purdue student. Boiler up, baby! Just add me to the list.
I can't do that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Positive.
Dude, come on.
My hands are tied. You have to be on the list.
Lists. They're merely meant to exclude. We must not allow our lives to be ruled by lists, am I right, people? And philosophically, what is a list? Think about it. It's merely a column of letters that form sounds that allow us to communicate. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's deep, man. But the letters that form the word Zach Miller have to be on the list for me to let you in. Sorry, Zach, you need to leave.
You wouldn't let me in, man. I even know the dude. Stupid list.
What do you have to drink?
White Claw.
And you?
Natty Light.
What do you bring?
I had a White Claw. It's 10:36.
I don't need the time. I need to see your wristband.
My wristband?
Yeah, your wristband. You should have gotten one at check-in. If you don't have one, you shouldn't be in here.
Oh, I got one, but it fell off.
Really? Can you pull up your sleeve for me? Wait, hold on. Here you go. Enjoy the party.
Hey, Anna.
Bye, Benji.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Are you leaving?
Yeah, I am.
You need to check out. What's your last name again?
Parks.
Hannah Parks. Oh, there you are. Checking out at 1:15 a.m. Excellent. Thanks.
Bye, Benji.